don't know the answer to this, but would Wren have stayed with Bale when he asked, or if he asked? She never got to answer Torak. Hello and welcome. I'm Michelle Paver, and we're going out, as always, live on Facebook, YouTube and Twitch. Links on my website, michellepaver.com/chat. Well, we've got quite a lot happening today. Now, let me see. First of all, I want to tell you about dates. Next month's Michelle Paver Live is actually a week early. We've brought it forward a week to the 18th of March. Why have we done that? Well, because it's going to be quite an important one. I'm going to be telling you a bit about why it's important later. Big announcement coming on the 18th of March. And I'll tell you give you a few clues later tonight. And because of that, I'd love to have just to talk to a few of you live on the 18th of March, if some of you want to come on. Anyone in particular who's loved the Wolf Brother books, the Chronicles of Ancient Darkness? Maybe you read the series when you were a child, or you discovered them, the books, a little bit later. If you'd like to talk to me on the 18th of March, just briefly and informally on audio or video, by all means, please get in touch. Because I'm going to be talking about something important, and I'd quite like to have some readers' reactions. It'd be nice. As I said, there'll be a clue at the end of this broadcast. If you want to come on the show on the 18th, use the contact form on my website, michellepaver.com/ask. You'll find the details there. Now, next, also, I've got 2 proof copies of my forthcoming novel Wakenhurst, there it is, to give away in a few minutes' time. So get into the live chat now and listen hard, and then the first 2 people to answer the question I will be asking in a few minutes' time will get a limited edition proof copy. Now, you probably already know how to get into the live chat, but if you don't, here's a reminder.
Live chat is live right now. On Twitter, use the hashtag #MichellePaver and we'll automatically pick it up and post it on screen. On Facebook, simply post your message as a comment in the live video and we'll pick it up. No need for a hashtag. On YouTube, post your message in the live chat box and we'll automatically pick it up and show it on screen. No need for a hashtag. On Twitch TV, post your message in the chat room and we'll automatically pick it up and show it on screen. No need for a hashtag. And that's how you chat live to Michelle.
And people are actually chatting live. I was just watching. Thank you for the congratulations. Also, just to say that in relation to Wakenhurst, I will be going on tour in the first 2 weeks in April, pretty much. I'll also be doing a few other festivals and things throughout the year. Find out if I'm coming to a town near you by going on my website or looking at my Facebook page, where you'll see details of the events that are currently scheduled. I mean, some of these things are still being booked, so people are scurrying around trying to get details of dates and times and things like that. But I would love to meet you. It's always great to meet my readers. And just a final reminder that before I move to other things, that you'll be able to send me a live message right now on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch TV. Sorry, I have to read that bit out. Now, let's just have a quick look, before I get into questions, have a quick look at social media. What's been going on in the world of tweeting? Well, we've got a tweet from Blackwell's in Manchester about their wonderful new shop in University Green. Many congratulations on that. You've got a beautiful new space, which I am looking forward to talking at on Tuesday, the 2nd of April. I think it's at 7 o'clock in the evening, talking about Wakenhurst. Really looking forward to that. Check the events listing on my Facebook page for details. Here's something completely different from Nick, who read Dark Matter. First, he was talking about the first time he read Dark Matter. Yeah, and at one point you were too scared to go to the loo. That made me laugh out loud when I read that. I'm so pleased. That's one I'm going to keep. That is the high standard I will be trying to keep to with Wakenhurst. Peter M wants to know if I'm going to be in Oxford at any point. I'm not sure, because I'm going where my publishers are telling me. I haven't got anything scheduled at the moment. The nearest I'll be is in Ely, with doing an event with Toppings Bookshop in Ely. But again, watch my Facebook page for listings. Lucy has a lovely one, my 10-year-old boy and me, adored Wolf Brother, the audiobooks read by Ian McKellen, snuggling up, listening to them, and his 17-year-old self, when he had glandular fever, returned to them. I hope he's better now. But I can understand that, actually. Lucy says, books become your old friends, and they're always there when you need them. I think that's me saying that, but Lucy gets that across. Speaking of which, just to remind you, I would love to talk to readers of the Wolf Brother books on the next Michelle Paver Live. Just send me a message if you want to come. michellepaver.com/ask. Now, the Constant Gardener asks, what would be your book equivalent of comfort food? It's a lovely one. Yeah, interesting. I'm glad you enjoyed Thin Air, by the way. Broadhurst's bookshop says it's probably something a little bit ghostly, something to snuggle under the duvet with. I'm hoping I can find my copy of Dark Matter. Broadhurst has got a proof copy of Wakenhurst, but they're saving it for a special occasion. Well, I hope you enjoy it when you do. Over on Facebook, yes, there's been discussion about my hair. Well, I started that because on I was tweeting, you'll have noticed there's a different photo, because a year ago I stopped colouring my hair. I went grey in my 30s, and so I used to colour my hair, but then I stopped, and so I had a new photo done. So that actually, what you can see on screen is me with the makeup artist sort of adjusting my seal claws, me looking very grim, because I'd had to get up at about 4:30 in the morning to get across to East London for the shoot. But yes, that's what you have to do sometimes. And there's the finished photo, not looking too bad. Having to smile as well, yes, a lot. It took hours, but there we go. I'm glad that's done. We've now got something still on hair, John Rimmer, talking about he's gone the whole hog and gone bald, part bald. I used to work with John. I think it's the same John, when I was a lawyer. Well, congratulations, John. I'm sure you're confident enough to cope with that. Sheeran has a very nice one, thinks it suits me, thank you. And she also stopped colouring her hair. Now, this I absolutely loved, when her wolf-obsessed daughter begged her to go natural, because then she'd look like a wolf. And do you know, my mind goes in sort of tram lines. I'd never actually thought of it, that, grey and wolf. And I was thrilled when I read that, because I thought, yes, of course, that's probably why I wanted to go grey. So thank you for that. It's great. Cora also points out that grey hair looks thicker, and all this colouring is perhaps not so good for us or the environment. I do so agree. And we've now moved on to Veronica. Oh yes, this is an interesting one. Do I always seek out inspiration in travel when I'm writing? I don't really seek inspiration, because inspiration sort of just comes to you, but I certainly get ideas and inspiration when I'm traveling. I mean, sometimes I'm researching a book when I'm traveling. Sometimes I just go, occasionally I just go for a weekend with my sister or something like that. But I always have a notebook with me, because yes, you never know when you're going to get ideas. So it really does add a dimension to travel. It's a lot easier than writing. Now, moving on to Instagram, we've got some wonderful fan art. There's Tarek and Wren and the gorgeous Howling Wolf. Oh, and remember, if you're going to post anything or looking for Wolf Brother fan art, those are the hashtags: Chronicles of Ancient Darkness, Grow the Fandom Like the First Tree, and Michelle Paver. We've got a lovely, yes, there's that one. Then there's a great picture of a certain demon bear. And the person who posted this said, I felt kind of sorry for the bear because it was, after all, a bear. And you're quite right. I agree. And I think there's even something in Dark Matter, in Wolf Brother, about that, shame, poor bear. He didn't ask to have that happen to him. Then there's a lovely one of Tarek and Wolf from Freya, who hasn't been in touch for a while because she's been busy with school. That's quite all right. We're all busy. That's really beautiful. And then there's been a discussion about Wren's first Moonbleed, which you'll be able to read there. Fair enough. Okay, she's got a little, tattoo. And there are so many more fascinating. The fan art is just gorgeous. We couldn't show it all, but let's end with a really happy picture of, yes, there they all are. It's great. Tremendous design coming right out at you. Fantastic. And that's from Wolf Brothers, the Wolf Brothers fan page. So now, before I get on to questions, that giveaway, get ready to answer this question. There's the cover of Wakenhurst. And remember, you just go on live chat, and it's a one-word answer. I'm just looking for a one-word answer here to win a copy of the proof. What kind of bird is on the cover of Wakenhurst? Just give me the name of the bird. What kind of bird? There we are. I'll leave you to consider that. Excuse me. Now we have questions and comments. And we'll start off with a very nice comment from Danny. There we are. Your books are absolutely incredible. I love them so much. I'm 12, but I still love your books. Fantastic, Danny. That's great. I love to hear that. Savannah, this is a nice one. You're making a list. You've made a list of the 100 best horror books of all time. I think we're going to be showing the website where this is available, so people can have a look at it, because lists are always fun, and Dark Matter is on it. Yay! So we've made the list. It's always nice to know I've made a best of list. Happy to share that so people can find. Can we bring it up a little bit closer so people can see the? I don't know if my elf can show the website address or something so they can find it. Gosh, what an amazing picture. So yes, the website details are reedsy.com/discovery/blog/best-horror-books. So there we are. Sally, thank you for that, by the way, Savannah. Sally has one. Yes, she borrowed the bookseller sister's proof copy of Wakenhurst, has found something, a slight glitch, it's not really a glitch, page 126, Edmund, writing in Edwardian times, is using a term which was first coined, wasn't used until 1939. Well, okay, fair cop, but Edmund doesn't use capital G, capital M, which is the way it was used in 1939. He probably gave Lady Raglan the idea. Have you thought of that? No, seriously, the idea of a green man was around. I mean, it was quite a popular pub name in the 17th century, long before Edmund, but you're absolutely right. So I think I can live with that. I'm much more pleased that you've been enjoying the book, and that your husband and you enjoyed Chronicles of Ancient Darkness, and your husband was really scared by Dark Matter, but you still went to the Arctic. That's brilliant. So thanks for that. Brandon King from Suffolk Libraries has put together a web page called Meet the Author, and yeah, I'd like to do a Q&A. I'm not trying to be awkward, but I'm not on email. It's the only way I can get to write my books. It's just shun email. So perhaps you can, if you email the questions to my agent, via michellepaver.com/ask, then he will send them to me by snail mail. I will answer, and he will send them on to you. So that's the way that will go. But yeah, happy to do that. Thank you for thinking of that. John Rimmer again, always wanted to be on University Challenge. What was it like? It was actually quite a few years ago that I was on it. Not my finest hour. What you need to know about University Challenge is people practice buzzer technique. I am not kidding. People on that show practice how to answer the buzzer really quickly, because if you don't, you can be pressing all you like, but somebody else is going to answer the question. Now that sounds like an excuse. It is partly an excuse. It wasn't my finest hour. And then the one question I did answer correctly, Jeremy Paxman mispronounced a name when he was asking the question, so they cut that question, and then they had to re-record another question, which somebody else answered. So, yeah, but it was really fun meeting the other contestants. Kathy Newman was great. We had a real laugh. So, yeah. Shauna Browder, I hope I pronounced that right. Oh, this is an interesting one. This is, how do you plan out all your projects? She's heard that I do plan. How do I go about doing it? What's your process? Is there a formula or format? No, there isn't. Would you be willing to share? Certainly, briefly. I think the difficulty with the word plan is a plan is not a blueprint. It's not sort of, right, this is what you will do on this page, and this is how chapter 1 or 2 or 3 will turn out. But for me, and every writer is different, but for me, a plan is a way of knowing roughly what's going to happen. What I mean by that is, what's the problem in the story for the main character? What do they want? And what are the obstacles in their way of getting there? And what happens at the end? To give you an example, Soul Eater is book 3 of Chronicles of Ancient Darkness. The problem is very simple. Wolf has been kidnapped. So Tarak and Ren want to get him back. They have various obstacles. Blizzard, the Soul Eaters, a polar bear, that sort of thing. A plan, a plan, my plan might be 30 or 40 pages, well, about 30 pages long. I couldn't find the plan for Soul Eater. I've got it somewhere, but I just couldn't. This is the actual plan for Ghost Hunter, the 6th book, which runs to, I think, 21 pages. But it's a mess. You can see it's scribbled on. It's got all sorts of changes to it, because you do change as you go along. It is just a plan. To give you still that example of Soul Eater, I mean, I had a vague idea of what the ending was going to be. Then I went on a research trip to Greenland. I was on the edge of the Greenland ice sheet, black ice, big black caves, and I'd never seen anything like it. And I suddenly thought, wow, black ice, white bears, Ren's red hair, red blood. That's the ending. That's the climax of the story. That wasn't in the plan. So I changed it. So the plan is just a guide. It's not a blueprint. Something might help you, though. Something I find really useful is I always do, as well as a plan, a 1-page flow sheet. And I find that really useful. And this is the one from Soul Eater. I did find that. And it's just got sort of, the beginning is kind of what I call the setup, which is, Wolf's kidnapped. And then we've just got the main sort of obstacles ending with the climax. And that's really useful. You keep it nice and simple on 1 page, and that way it keeps you focused. So I could go on, but thank you for that. And good luck. I hope that's helped you a little bit, Shauna. Now we've got Mandarin has shown us, yes, I have clans, Akimi La, Alexandria, and Gamaliel. I love your books. The Wolf Brother books are amazing. So great to have clans. Oh, that's a leopard clan. Fantastic. Thank you. And Toma Draganov, I hope I've said that right. Bulgarian, I think. You've got a special friend looking to give her Wolf Brother in Bulgarian. What a lovely idea. Unfortunately, it's out of stock. Yeah, I'm not very good at this. I mean, either look on eBay or Amazon. I think online is your best bet, really. All I can say is maybe next year the Bulgarian publishers might be thinking of republishing it for reasons you will find out later. Possibly, we'll see. Now, James, we have something here. I just wanted to, this is lovely. Thank you for writing Wolf Brother and the Chronicles of Ancient Darkness series. I found Wolf Brother in a bookstore about a year and a half ago, and since then I bought the whole series, and I love them all. Like to live like Torak. I like this, the way you put this. Never knowing what animals you would come across and just being one with nature. And it got you into reading too. So, well, I hope you enjoy Dark Matter and Thin Air when you go for them. Sean, simple question. Very simple question. Any news on a Chronicles of Ancient Darkness TV series? No news as yet, I'm afraid. You will hear it first on this program, but I haven't got any news at the moment. Rachel has an interesting one. How would you describe the Nanuak in Wolf Brother? Well, I had to just remind myself how Wren describes it. So I might as well just read you that bit. And she says, the Nanuak is like a great river that never ends. Every living thing has a part of it inside them. Hunters, prey, rocks, trees. Then she goes on, sometimes a special part of it forms like foam on a river. And when it does, it's incredibly powerful. Now, of course, we know that in Wolf Brother, if you've read the book, the 3 special parts are what Torak has to find, and he does. But that doesn't really answer your question, does it? The Nanuak is like a force inside everything in the world, in Torak's world. Animals, plants, rocks, trees, rivers, everything. How you visualize that is down to you, the reader. I visualize it. I was thinking about this, you made me think, how did I visualize it? I didn't really at the time, but sometimes when I've been answering questions about dark matter and thin air, my ghost stories, which are very scary, people say, oh, this is so scary. How is it very, very pessimistic? And I say, well, not really, because there's always the sort of friendship between, say, Jack and the dog in dark matter. And I visualize it as a sort of golden thread running through the darkness of the ghost stories. And then I thought to myself, well, maybe that's how I visualize the Nanuak. It's kind of like a golden flow of energy or something. But that's only my visualization. Yours might be different, Rachel. I hope that's answered you a little bit. But thank you. That was an interesting one. Neil Mason, Mr. Mason, is teacher of class 4 at St James's Primary, and he's been reading Wolf Brother and enjoying it. Glad about that. And you're using it as a piece of persuasive writing to get people to buy the book. Thank you for that. Yes, and you're asking whether it would be possible to send some copies of your writing for me to read and tell you what you think. By all means, send things, write to me, care of the publishers, and then they'll send it on. Eventually, it'll take a few weeks by post, because, as I say, I don't have email. I'm afraid I can't promise to read and comment on everybody's work, because most classes have about 30 children in. That's a lot of reading. I get a lot of letters from schools, which is lovely, and I always answer them, but I have to do a sort of group answer, one per class, as it were. So I hope you don't mind that. But yes, by all means do. I always answer whatever letters the publisher sends on to me. And the last one now is a long one, which I wouldn't be able to read the whole thing. And I hope I'm going to pronounce your name reasonably okay. It's from China. It's Jingyu Xing, I hope. Anyway, it's a beautifully written. I mean, you apologize at the end for your grammar, but my goodness. And you've read Wolf Brother, really attracted by reading it. You like the folk and culture, the power of nature, the mystical air of the forest. The moment when Far sacrificed himself for Torak made me cry. I'm very pleased about that, because that was my aim. And I love this bit. I felt so absorbed and excited, as if I was a detective slowly putting everything into place. Plus, I adore Wolf so much. I'm really pleased about that, because it's difficult to do that as a writer, include little clues. And you like Wren as well. That's lovely. And then you talk about, you do also say, yes, and I'm sorry, that the names and of the plants and animals are complex and troubled you when you were reading. I'm not surprised. Also, I don't know how they were translated, because they're very particular names in Northern European nature, and I don't know how those have been translated into Chinese. That would be quite difficult. And you also suggest adding more pieces of information about Far's and Torak's mother's background. Well, I can tell you about that. I mean, I hope you do know that there are 5 more books, and you'll find out lots about Torak. And so there we are. Wait a minute, because I have copies of all of them. That's the second one. Then we've got the one I was talking about, which is Soul Eater. And then there's the 4th one, and then the 5th one. I've got the 6th one in Chinese somewhere. I think I'm holding up the right way. So you'll find out lots more about them, and they've all got Torak and Wren and Wolf. So do not despair. So, and as I say, your English is so brilliant that if you can't get hold of the copies in Chinese, you'll probably be able to read them in English, because your English is great. So thank you for those questions. I hope those helped. And now I'm going to ask my elf if we've got any winners of the Wakenhurst giveaway. And I can't hear him. Lots of correct answers. Yes, there's a little first 2. We do have winners. And the first 2 who came through are ... as I read them out. It's Madeline Buss and Martha P. So well done, both of you. Congratulations. Please would you post your postal address, put your postal address on michellepaver.com/ask. Write in one of those things. Let us know so that we know where to send it. But thank you. And thank you for being really quick off the mark. And I hope you enjoy the proof copies. I should just mention that proof copies always have a few, little mistakes and things. They're uncorrected. But I hope you enjoy your advanced copies anyway. So there we are. Congratulations to the lucky winners. And just to wrap up, just to remind you, thank you for first of all, thank you for all your questions and comments. It's great to hear from you. Remember, if you'd like to come along to one of my events, do check out the tour schedule on my Facebook page or on my website. It will be updated as we get more details through. And finally, yes, just to remind you that next Michelle Paver Live is on the 18th of March, so it's a little bit earlier. It's only 3 weeks away. And why is it special? Why did my elf get so excited tweeting this afternoon about it, so that even the announcement of that is special? Well, because I've been working really hard for many, many months on another book. And I'm very excited about it. I'm still working really, really hard on it, which is why I'm probably not making as much sense as I usually do. And that book is going to come out sometime next year. And on the 18th of March, I'm going to tell you what it is. I've always said you'll hear big things first on this, and I'm keeping to that. So I'll be telling you about it a little bit, not very much, but I'll tell you what it is on the 18th of March, which is why I'd love to talk to some of my readers live. Oh, and I'll leave before I go with a clue. One of the places I went to when I was researching this book that will come out next year was Siberia. Well, that's all I got time for. Thank you and goodbye and happy reading.